Welcome to the Higher Power Podcast, where your safe zone for discovering your true self is created. We are your hosts, Frank Sieben and Jill Humphreys. The topic of tonight's podcast is a special one for us. Don't wait to celebrate.
Frank, I want to also say, before we go into this really brilliant topic, because it's been an epic week for us and a lot of other people, that we are beyond grateful for all the feedback for last week's regarding the depression in entrepreneurship.
Very true.
And we had some great feedback on that, and we want to tell you that we are taking all your suggestions on board, and we are going to continue with that theme, probably on a regular monthly basis. So thank you very much indeed for all that. But tonight, we really want to celebrate the week that we've had.
Yeah.
And we want to entice and encourage small gains, big gains, middle of the road gains, whatever you call them. We want you to recognize them, and we want you to live in the present moment.
Yeah. Take it all in.
Of the celebration. Yeah, definitely. Of the celebration. Just to let the listeners know how we actually start our day. And I don't mean individually. We have our daily method of operation that we put into action anyway. But when we actually first contact each other, we may even send each other a message which says, spread the love, which you brought into my life.
Yeah.
Or I go, love and abundance, Frank, good morning, co-creator.
That's what you say always, love and abundance.
Grateful to be in your presence today. Let's rock it.
Exactly.
And it kind of starts the day off, but we've always got things that we want to share that are celebratory. And that's either something really good that's happened, an experience from a team member that perhaps we're celebrating as well. So we celebrate with that, and we give thanks for that celebration.
Yeah.
But just not that. It's the landmarks, the small goals, the satisfaction that we really want to encourage people to do on a daily basis, no matter how small. And it doesn't have to be a monetary gain. It doesn't have to be anything to do with the material gain. It could be you're celebrating and really happy for your health.
That's a good topic here, right there, because you can celebrate your health every day, and you can be thankful for your health every day. And if you, I mean, you only have to look around, and I bet you see people who are unfortunately in a worse situation than yourself. So you got to realize that life is a gift and needs to be celebrated every single day.
Yeah. And I think the very basis is when we have people that come to us that are completely lost, or they're feeling out of alignment with their purpose, we take them straight back to the grateful, the gratitude, the celebration of everything that they have around them that enriches their day.
Yeah.
But we were speaking before, and it was very interesting because you were reading out a little bit of an article from Inc.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about what that article and that particular person was voicing, because I found that incredibly useful just for me, for listening to those few bits and pieces that you were talking about.
That's very true. The article was by Minda Zetlin on Inc.com. It's a really beautiful article. And she pointed out a few points how to celebrate and why to celebrate even small successes. It's very important to celebrate small successes as well, because if you stop for a moment and enjoy the view when you climb a mountain, it's breathtaking what you see. And you can translate this when you're trekking outside in nature. You can translate this to your life as well. And these little moments when you take a look and look even behind yourself to see where you come from, it's very rewarding. And it also gives you more motivation to continue the journey on which you're on. And it also carries over the momentum you have from the beginning. So that means that you don't lose focus on where you're heading, and you don't lose your why you're going there, and why you probably have started the first place. While you're on your journey, it could also be that, first of all, you change, which make probably your goals different goals while you achieve them. And secondly, the goals change or become expanded.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's important, this is also something Minda mentions, you should not forget why your goal, which you set at first place, was important to you in the beginning. I think this is also very grounding. When you really take a look at where you come from, think about why this goal was important to you when you started.
That brings in Tony Robbins again for me on my coaching journey when he was tutoring us, mentoring us. He always used to say, when people are lost, they forget where the juice was when they started.
Beautiful.
They forget the excitement, the enthusiasm, and they were going at it gun-ho, as it were. And suddenly along the way, because they're not having that big achievement that they so wanted, they weren't recognizing the landmarks they were passing.
Yeah.
And the small but big steps they were actually taking. And they weren't giving themselves credit for the new things they'd learned, whether it was a piece of software, whether it was a brand new client, whether it was getting a 5-minute or 3-minute presentation speech.
Yeah. You can quickly slip into a space where you always strive for something better and never be satisfied.
No. And I think that is a very slippery slope, that we stop looking at ourselves of what we've actually done. We're striving for there when we need to celebrate here. Exactly, we need to celebrate this moment now.
Be in the present moment and be happy that you're here.
Totally. Yes. And a little bit about our week. We've had an incredible week of input this week.
Oh, yeah.
We've been involved in a big team celebration.
Yeah.
You personally have had a fantastic move to a new place.
Yeah, I'm beyond grateful to be in my new space here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, it is. It's beautiful.
And this is actually something I thought about when I came here, because it is something why I've started. And when I was in Hamburg, I had 10 square meters for myself. And now I have 100 square meters for myself. And I always was looking for the space where I can be myself, where I can spread my love. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place in nature. And I love being here. It's so inspiring.
Yeah. And we've also celebrated, Frank, a new arrival in your apartment. Please tell us what nutritional benefit that's brought to you.
It was just a simple cooker, a halogen cooker. But this cooker really brought to life my first meal here in my apartment. And it was a celebration because it was so good. Oh.
Well, the mere fact that you came back with a plate and I was on Skype with you, his plate was so piled high with all this beautiful food, and your face was like, look, I am so grateful to have this. That is the simplicity of our daily celebration, of just literally take everything away, take everything. We don't have to do anything towards which enriches our day. We just flick a switch and we've got electric.
Yeah.
We turn a tap on and hopefully you've got water.
Exactly.
We get in a shower and hopefully it's hot. We flick a switch and we've got a kettle.
Hmm.
We flick another switch and we've got internet. These are all the things that we have so become accustomed
Yeah.
to having that we forget to celebrate the amenities that help you and I to bring this podcast to our listeners.
Yeah, exactly. And also, never take anything for granted.
Oh, that's the theme of my video this week.
Yeah, I love your video. Everybody should actually take a look at this video because it's really inspiring.
Well, it was basically because I was very blessed to being given an upgrade in my business myself, and I was beyond grateful for that. The celebration of that was huge. And also the love and the appreciation I had of all the people around me, which actually heightened the fact that I must celebrate with them because they feel this is a big celebration. They feel it was deserved. And I was literally in a moment.
It's not only deserved, it's deserved and earned. And you received it with gratitude and grace.
Because I so felt it in the core of my being, of being in a place of this giving to me is the validation that I'm on my right path, that I'm me, being me, that I am core-centered, that I totally believe in everything that I do. I totally believe in people that come to me, and therefore I give them that love and encouragement, and I celebrate everything about them that they share with me. A lot of them will say, I have no gifts. I have no talents. And then suddenly you take them through these amazing things that they've been through and experienced in life, and you go, my goodness me, so that means you did this. That means you were able to do this. So that means you were really good at this. And you can suddenly see their faces thinking, that's incredible. I never looked at myself. I never celebrated that.
At the moment, I'm reading Brené Brown, and she also says that everyone has a story which is just breathtaking. Yeah. Everyone. She's doing a lot of research, and she has never come across a single person where she didn't kind of fainted listening to their story. Yeah. And I think this has also to do with the choice we have. Because every day we have a choice to be who we are and to celebrate ourselves, and also to be grateful for what we have.
Yeah.
And it is our choice to do that every day.
I agree. And in my video, I actually said, when we were a child, we were just full of imagination. There was nothing else. But where is the tipping point where we lose that? Where we become so subdued and responsible? And we can still have both. We can still tap into that creativity. We can still tap into that fun and imagination. And we can still celebrate every day in a place where we feel better about ourselves. And in feeling better about ourselves, we feel better about life. We have a different perspective to things. A lot of us take on board heavy energy of the world without really looking at what we've got and being grateful for what we've got. I don't think personally I could celebrate without gratitude.
Never.
I don't know. For me, gratitude comes first, and then the celebration of the gratitude.
Exactly, yeah.
It's just one of those things that goes hand in hand with me, because we're always beyond grateful for anything that comes into our lives that is for someone else. We can celebrate with them.
Oh, yeah.
For personal things like your move, personal things like my upgrading in business.
I was in tears when this was announced, in tears of gratitude. It was just breathtaking, actually, yeah.
But it is in the moment of those celebrations where a lot of people are afraid to share because of being compared with others, because of being in a place where they think, is that person actually going to like me if I say, I've had this success, this has happened? And I think a lot of people will cloak it, they will hide it, they will not broadcast it.
Yeah.
Because we are in a world sometimes, and if you're not in good company or you're not with like-minded people, a lot of people will not celebrate with you. They will not.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. And I think it's also important to say, this is not about bragging or something.
No.
This is about acknowledging yourself and recognizing yourself. And you can let the world know. You should let the world know. Because when we share, we radiate this love around us, and it's growing, and you get more of this back.
Yep. But again, going back to Tony, he always says that he celebrates as loudly as the person that's got the success.
Yeah.
Because he knows that if he wanted to, he could probably get an equal success in something that he loves. But it doesn't have to necessarily be exactly the same or the same result.
Yeah.
And so he looks at them and says, how brilliant for them. I am absolutely ecstatic that they got that. But other people look at you and go, well, probably stole something if you're that wealthy, probably done something really bad to have that.
Yeah.
And in Australia, they actually call it the tall poppy syndrome. And I think other cultures do it as well. They recognize you as the higher you get, the more they want to tear you down. They will come and cut you down because they don't like the growth or you coming out and making that difference. It's very interesting.
I never heard of that.
And I think the celebration of successes to us looks like an overnight success, when in fact it's a celebration of such small successes that's led to the big coming out party.
Yeah. And still, there is no big coming out party because the journey continues after that.
Yeah.
It's similar when you go trekking in the Alps, for example. You climb a mountain and you think you're there, but when you are on top of the mountain, you see, oh, there are a ton of other mountains I want to climb.
Yeah, that's true. I love that.
Yeah,
I absolutely love that. But I think we're still in a world where the difference is now we're not so much working with a machine. We're actually developing our minds. We are influencing and developing people's minds. Mm-hmm. So the mindset is different, I feel, to success.
Yes. Yeah.
Because now you can openly celebrate a person's success without resentment or jealousy.
I think that's the key value here, because it is so important to acknowledge another person's success and don't compare it with your own.
Yeah.
Just be as grateful as the other person is.
Yeah, totally. And, before, obviously, it was, you cannot give away any of your business things that you're doing. You've got to keep it very close to your chest. You don't want people copying your ideas.
Yeah.
In this extremely in-your-face, real-time digital world that we've got here, everything is in your face every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No matter...
Even shorter, yeah.
Yeah.
Very
no
true.
matter who comes up with what concept or success or whatever, it is in real time.
Yeah.
So that you can actually get that right in front of you as it's happening sometimes.
Yeah.
There's so many platforms that we can see it. So the joy of being able to see that success as well on social media or celebrate with somebody is phenomenal. And you can feel that energy. You can feel that success with them. And for me, it's a motivator.
Yeah.
Not something that makes me feel, well, that's not, how come it's them and not me? But that is still a little bit there, because we are in a greedy world now, and we are in an instant world now, and people still want instant things.
Yeah, that's true. Instant manifestation, yeah.
Instant manifestation. But I feel that the smaller things on a daily basis that you and I celebrate. Take, for example, we set up a Twitter account And it's nothing new for all our colleagues or students or whatever, members will hear us talking about Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm like. I will flood your timeline with everything that he puts out there because the content in that is magical.
Absolutely,
Not just that, but it's the personal touch. And he gives us tough love.
Yeah.
And we all need it, whether we want it or not. We all need it. And all Gary is interested in is success. So when I was jumping up and down, I said, oh my goodness, look, Gary Vee's recognized us.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
Yeah, that was just
we
amazing.
were doing this happy dance and we were just going mad.
Yeah.
But recognizing that is almost like, wow, we're not putting him up on a pedestal.
No.
But if we hadn't have gone out and done it, we wouldn't have had that success. If you don't take that step forward, you might not get a recognition for a long time. But if you're building a business or you're putting things out there, eventually somebody's going to come to you and say, I was looking at your website. I was looking at your YouTube channel. My goodness me, that's incredible.
Yeah, and I mean, we also receive so much feedback by email where people say, thank you, that was exactly what I needed. And remember when I read you the email by someone who contacted us, we were both beyond grateful for this validation. I mean, that's...
Yeah. And it was another celebration. So
it was another celebration, exactly, yeah.
The magic moments are every moment.
Oh, this is beautiful.
The magic moment will come when I have this partner, will come when I have this house, will come when I have this business. No, the magic moments are in the making of the moment, every moment.
Yes, they are your journey. And this is actually something I realized in my own life 5 months ago. Because I was, as a musician and music producer, I was always waiting for this special moment when everything takes off, when my success is there. And when everything is changing in my life. When I realized that this is completely being passive and not striving towards this. I mean, I was hardworking. I was 24 hours. I was in my studio working for it. So I have done my active part, I thought. But it's not enough. You have to celebrate the moment and know that you are on a journey with no destination.
That's very true. And also to recognize the input that you personally bring. I remember writing out our transcripts for our videos, and I wrote Composure by Frank Zeben for music, and you were like, okay.
Yeah.
But I said, I'm recognizing you because of your amazing gift, because of what you bring to the podcast, because of what you create. And it's got to be celebrated.
Yeah.
And I remember you looking at me and saying, I've never really looked at it that way.
I mean, I've been hiding my producer skills as a ghost producer, which was the worst thing I can do in my life. But now I recognize it, and I'm grateful that I've done this, because otherwise I would never got the lesson.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so every day that we compile things and every day that we discuss our journey, the success that we feel every single day is the mere fact that what brought us together was magic. What brought us together was by no coincidence or accident.
No.
We both have something, but we didn't know how we were going to integrate it. Now we've actually integrated it. Now we're moving forward feeling, I can't explain what we actually feel on a daily basis, but it is a contentment. It is a joy.
Yeah, fulfillment.
It is a fulfillment. It is a bliss state.
Is it
because every
bliss
single
and
minute,
blessed?
blissed and blessed, every single moment that we're putting something like this together is the complete alignment of what you and I want to give.
Yeah,
And that is to celebrate others,
absolutely.
to celebrate the life of every single person that you and I deal with on a daily basis, and to make sure that they know that it's a celebration when we sit with them. It's a moment of total presence that will...
Total presence and acknowledgement. And by doing this, we spread the love, we inspire, and we also give out the message that you can do the same.
Absolutely.
We are no different.
No. I never really understood the power of being in the moment and present with somebody until I actually started studying mindfulness and going on mindfulness sessions and experiencing that power of the moment and sharing.
Same for me, yeah.
But I think when you are totally present with someone and nothing else is in your head, you really look at that person so differently, and you are not so quick in wanting to answer the question or search for something good to say or make your statement or be better. But you look at them and you know that this moment you're sharing with them is so very, very, very special.
Precious moment, yeah.
And I always say to people that I meet now, I look at them and I may put my hand on their shoulder, depending on how much I know them. And they always look at me and they say, it's almost like I feel that you see in my soul.
Beautiful.
And I know that this moment that you're talking with me is for me. And I try and instill it in everybody where you haven't got, we're in a rush situation. But if you look around at the people and if you actually knew what was in their life, what was going on at that moment in time, I think we'd all be reactive so, so differently.
Absolutely,
We would all be so different.
Yeah.
But we're so engrossed in our own persona, our own mission. And I get it. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong, because when you're busy and you're focused and you've got one thing on your mind, you've got to get on with it. You've got goals, you've got targets. Yeah, I get it. But what we don't do is either savor a moment where somebody comes into our lives and when we never see them again, maybe, or there's a beautiful sunset and you just haven't got time to look at it.
Yeah. Savor the moment.
You don't celebrate those vital moments. You don't celebrate another sunset. Celebrate another sunrise.
Yeah.
Celebrate another few hours sleep to recharge and refocus your creativity. Celebrate that thought that brought you a new person, that brought you a new place. Or celebrate a creativity inside of you that probably wasn't there before because you've taken this moment to step back and be grateful.
Yeah.
And people don't understand, though, do they, Frank, the power of gratitude and how that really can help you as a business person, as a more integrated person in life, or it doesn't matter what you do.
It also transforms you from being in a passive mode to getting to a proactive mode, because with gratitude, you attract more of what you think about. And this alone will shift your life.
Yeah.
I experienced it myself.
Yeah. And for me, we were so rushed. And so next week, next month, next year, there's nothing about this moment, this meal, this interaction.
It's not about racing through your life.
we were chasing life. We were chasing things constantly. We weren't in a celebration or in a gratitude mode. I have to admit, we just weren't.
Me too. I've been there. I raise my hand. I'm guilty.
Yeah. But I think then when you lose somebody, that taught me an awful lot. Because guess what? You don't think that's ever going to happen to you.
Yeah.
You think, you can put today aside. You can say, this is a bad day. I've had a really bad experience, or I'm not happy today. I'm not grateful about today. Today was the worst day.
Yeah.
When tomorrow you might not have a chance to celebrate it.
Yeah, this is so true. And this shows it's all about perspective. Because if you start talking to someone and maybe this other person shifts your energy, and then you suddenly see the day in a totally different light because you probably had a light bulb moment and got the lesson, then you start to savor the moment. And it's important because you recognize yourself, you learn, you get to know yourself better every moment.
Yeah, that's very, I completely, and that was it. And I think if you can like yourself better, then you're going to love yourself better. And then you're going to appreciate what comes to you in life. You're going to be more celebratory.
Yeah, and guess what? When you learn to love yourself better, you can give more love to others as well.
Yeah, totally. Totally. So the daily gratitude, the daily contentment and fulfillment does not have to come from an object, does not have to come in any shape or form other than just being in that moment and celebrating the time that you have in that moment.
Yeah.
Because it gives you so much more contentment, so that the next moment and the next moment and the next moment, you're closer and closer and closer to getting to that result, but you've enjoyed the journey. We forget about the journey. We don't enjoy the journey. We just want to do the climb.
Yeah.
And when you get to the top, as you so rightly say, there's more mountains.
Yeah.
There's more climbs.
And from the first mountain you climb, you have a beautiful view what's around you. So you can also get another perspective, and you might discover something you never knew it's there.
But you know my biggest celebration, Frank?
Tell me.
Is when I do get to that climb, and I do, like this week, get to another stage or another cliff or another level or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's a liberating moment.
I look behind me and I see the people who've been there for me.
Yeah.
I see the people who enabled that to happen.
Yeah.
I don't see it as something I've done on my own, because I couldn't have done it on my own.
No, there's always people who empower you. But there's always, on the other hand, this also enables you to, let's say, filter out the people who are disempowering in your life. Because when you take a look back and you see your path, you can see also what their intention was.
But I always think that if they hadn't have come into my life, I wouldn't have grown even more.
Oh, that's so very true.
Because no matter who, what, reason, season, or lifetime that those people have come into your life, you see them as a worthy opponent, an intimate opponent.
And they have a lesson for you. I mean, these people come into your life, even if they are disempowering, in that moment, maybe half a year later, you see that this was not a disempowerment. In fact, it was the time of your biggest growth.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see when you're on top of this first mountain.
And there was 3 years that I spent in a kind of relationship like that. And I was taught the biggest lesson the hardest way. And from that came another gift. And again, I'm grateful for that gift. I'm grateful for what it taught me. I'm grateful for how it empowered me
Yeah.
to move into another level of being more integrated and more self-love that had to come from that, because I realized how much I wasn't caring for me.
Yeah.
And I enabled all of it to happen. And I had to understand why. When I understood why, I understood more about me. But then that made me celebrate me more for not being bitter, twisted, angry, wasting my life, wasting my precious time. No matter what you've been through in life and you've come through the other side, you must celebrate the fact that you've learned such a lot. You've had that lesson come to you that's taught you so much.
Yeah.
And as long as you grow from that lesson, and as long as you celebrate the fact that you can make changes, you can grow, you can move forward.
Yeah. The perfect timing is never there. I mean, there's a saying, 20 years ago was the best time to plant a tree, but the second best time is now. It's an ancient Chinese proverb.
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And again, you are never, ever too old to have a childhood either.
Never.
So you can celebrate who you are now, what you've got now, what you can bring to this world now, your gifts, your talents.
Yeah.
You can make that a celebration, not something where you look back and think it's too late for me. I can't do this now. Those are things that you imprison yourself with. You're not celebrating the fact that you're here. You're celebrating what you think, well, I've done everything that I can contribute to. That's not true. That's not a celebration of you, because a lot of us don't get to see our older years. A lot of us don't make it.
Yeah.
But if you celebrate what you've done and you are happy in what you're doing during the day, then life is a celebration.
Yeah. So don't wait to celebrate yourself. Don't wait to celebrate your successes. Celebrate.
I agree.
Yeah. Don't wait to be grateful for what you have, what you are.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true. So we wrap up another epic week for us, and we urge you to not look for the bigger cause, but look for every single thing, no matter how small. Every time a child smiles at you, every time you see an animal and you pet the animal and you live in that moment, you feel that moment, that's a celebration.
True.
Because you're feeling, you're alive. And we all need to celebrate that fact.
And you connect with other beings.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about connection.
Yeah.
And we celebrate the fact that we've got some fantastic followers. We've got some fantastic listeners.
Yeah.
And we celebrate each and every one of you each time we put something like this together, because we know that you're sitting wherever you're sitting, or you could be traveling. A lot of people travel and listen to our podcasts. I get it all the time from that lady that's on the tube that says we start her day the right way. And that's a celebration. You could be anywhere in the world. And I am actually talking to you now. And that's a celebration for us. So I will end up on that. And I will say love, peace and blessings to all of you, and celebrate you.
I absolutely agree, Jill. Thanks for all the love out there. We are truly grateful. So this is us signing out from where your safe zone for discovering your true self is created. Spread the love, guys. Spread the love. See you next week.